compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Here at Midwest Bank, we want to thank all the generous donors who helped us make our 2025 turkey dinner for schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, we raised enough money to provide 191 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, we've made Thanksgiving Day for these families a little brighter. We want to wish everyone a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, be breezy and warm with a high near 56. Tonight, a chance of sprinkles, otherwise partly cloudy skies, be breezy, low around 32. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies, but it will be windy and colder with the high just 35. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucky for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carricker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carricker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carricker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carricker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carricker.
Oh, Jake, my friend. Has anything happened since you and I last saw each other? Anything to talk about? Anything come to mind?
Every day there is something here in Husker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Rhule had a press conference. I wasn't able to watch the whole thing, because, prep and get ready for this show and all. But I got notes sent to me. I do got the major highlights here. I'm going to switch headphones because I don't know why I grabbed those. They never work. Let me try again. Give me a second here. All right, and we're back. So, major announcements right off the top. We will be having a new defensive line coach in the future. Matt Rhule announced that former Nebraska defensive line coach Terry Braden has been let go. Our strength and conditioning coach, Corey Campbell, has been given a raise. You have the exact number. It was like $400,000. Oh, you just told it to me, and I typed it to myself because that's how I take notes. So I'll go ahead and look at it. So a season ago, anyways, Corey Campbell was his 32nd highest paid strength coach in the country, which made him 15th in the Big Ten. Now, barring updates, getting some updates. This is all have obviously happened over the past hour or so. He would be 2nd in the country as far as highest paid strength coaches and 1st in the Big Ten. We'll see how that all updates down the road. But basically, it's now $1.1 million over 4 years, signed through 2029. Does that all jive with what you heard there, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay. We try to get our facts right on occasion here. Unlike the ESPN SEC network, we try to be as unbiased as possible. So some major updates. Got a thing or two to chat about on this show. Before we dive into that, I do want to give a shout out to some sponsors, to some good partners of this show as well. As you know, it is the noon hour, lunch hour here on the Adam Carricker Show. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors at Mulberry Barbecue. They have not one, but now two locations at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, have smoked chicken, and plus get incredible and delicious sides. Ladies and gentlemen, get fueled for lunch today or make your dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and is 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Initial reaction to Terry Braden being let go. You hear things all the time. It's a little bit of sifting through, what do you believe? What do you not believe? Who do you trust? Who do you not trust? I have people who text things to me all the time. The people that I pay attention to are those who've been doing it, texting me things the longest, and their information tends out to be the truest. So you heard some rumblings about potentially a new defensive line coach. There's some speculation as to who it might be, which would mean that the current defensive line coach could no longer be there unless, technically we could have two defensive line coaches. And when I first got here, Nelson Barnes was the rush ends coach and Jeff Jamrog was the defensive tackles coach. I didn't foresee us doing that again. By the way, somebody pointed out, it might have been you. Why don't we have two offensive line coaches? And I just thought that was the stupidest thing ever, Jake, until I thought about it for 2 seconds. And I was like, wait, there isn't a position group on the entire field that has more guys on the field at once, 5, than the offensive line. Now, if you're running a 3-3-5, which we're not anymore, maybe it's the secondary. I actually thought that was a decent point. I'm not saying we're doing that. I just, in the moment, I was like, what's he talking about? I was like, oh, maybe down the road, we'll have 50,000 coaches coaching all these position groups. For now, I do believe it's just going to be one. Terry Braden's been let go, and that is what we know so far.
I said, and Dan Young and Milt Diniper were a long time co-offensive line coaches, right? Yeah.
I should have known that because when I was here, they were both yelling at me when I was on the scout team, and I was running the wrong way, giving the offense the wrong look. Well, it was usually them, and then Richie was yelling at me. It was usually between the three of them, there was some colorful language being thrown my direction if I went the wrong way, which tend to happen. All right, when I was out there supposed to be running Penn State or Texas's defense, and I'm this X, and I'm supposed to follow this arrow, and I'm like, because it's rocket science. But that's actually a good point. I forgot about that. So it can be done. Anyways, I digress. The point is, Terry Braden's no longer a defensive line coach. My initial reaction is this. You hear things, you kind of wait to see what happens before you officially address them. At least that tends to be my approach for the most part. I'll hint at things. But even if, you never know what's going to change. Like, Dayton Raiola was supposed to be here for bowl prep practices, and then 5 days later he decommits. So it's like you might hear something. It might be true. Wait 10 minutes, and it might not be. So I'm always kind of like wait and see, make sure it's correct, and then as much as we can. We're going to get something wrong at some point. But then try to talk about it once you know as much for 100% sure as you possibly can. Terry Braden not being the defensive line coach. I have a couple of reactions. One is he walked into a room that was kind of handed to him. I always understood why he stayed through the Super Bowl with Kansas City. I always understood, hey, what you got, 3 rings already? Like, why not try to get another one as an assistant defensive line coach? Hey, I always in the back of my mind was like, wouldn't it be better to get to your next job? I don't know if that mattered here. I don't know if that was a big deal. I don't know if that would have made a gigantic impact one way or the other. For me, it's a sign that Rhule is sending a clear message. We have got to get better in the trenches. You win football games in general. I mean, I'll be honest, it can be the NFL. It can be youth football. It can be high school football, college football, but I'm going to say especially in the Big Ten. You win in the trenches. And the trenches were the weakness of the team this year. You walked into every game this year, the last month of the season, barring maybe UCLA. And even depending on how you felt about UCLA's trenches, you were like, we have a disadvantage here. And that's going to hurt us. There were other things you felt good about. I feel good about the running back. I will maintain that and no excuses, but if Dylan doesn't get hurt, we probably beat USC. That's part of football, though. Again, we lost to Iowa, who had a 4-string walk-on quarterback a year ago. So you got to find ways to overcome these things because everybody has challenges. But when you walk into every single contest and you're like, we're at a disadvantage in the trenches, which refers to both sides of the ball, that's not a problem. That's a gigantic problem. It's a problem that's almost impossible to overcome because you would have to be exponentially so much better everywhere else to beat somebody. Dare I say, if you're relatively even across the board, you're going to need some luck in order to win the game. He's sending a message that it wasn't even close to good enough. I don't care when you got here. I don't care who was in the room when you got here. I don't care how much of a part of it you were. I don't care how much time you had. It was not good enough in these key areas, offensive, defensive lines. That's the message that I hear. That's the message that I receive. What are your thoughts on that, Jake?
Yeah, it's interesting to see this play out again, and you know, it's a bit of a day with the combined news that it's a little bit contradictory or just at least in the very least interesting, right? That Nebraska finishes the season, we know, struggling against Penn State, Iowa. You mentioned it, the trenches. I said it before. I felt like that was maybe something that was identified as myself and many others going into the season as a potential weakness. So it's just there's just a lot of moving parts here, and you wonder kind of who's falling on the sword, who just didn't quite, maybe mesh with the staff. Maybe you didn't, maybe they realized that they, from the inside expectations, this might not be the top 10 defensive line, but they want to see, them get better, tactically or, whatever it might be. So there's all different reasons that this has come to a conclusion here. But I just find it very interesting that the offensive line coach and the defensive line coach have both been fired. And at the same, in this very same day that the defensive line coach is announced to be let go, you announced the strength and conditioning coach is getting a massive raise to be one of the tops in the country. So it's just, I can't tell you, and from inside they'll know, and they're making the decisions based on here's what went wrong in the trenches, here's what didn't. And so apparently, again, they love what Coach Campbell's doing. Not so happy with what the return that they got on these other coaches. But the other thing is, too, I mean, we were through the cycle last year. You got Braden last year. You got Butler last year to be your defensive coordinator. So it's kind of interesting to see, where as you go back out there and make these decisions again, what did you learn in a year? And then, how much time is going to be given to these guys? It's crazy. I mean, because Braden, again, I think maybe you expected more, again, out of maybe detail-oriented stuff or whatever it might be. It was his first major, hire, as far as being a positional coach in college football. So, I don't know. I think a lot of Husker Nation's got to sitting back and saying, we're going to have to see how this plays out. You want to trust Coach Rhule to make these decisions. But we're already a year in after getting burned from doing that from the year before. And all of this in a 7-5 year where, you do go, to back-to-back bowl games. So it wasn't like a complete failure or anything. So, again, just a lot of it's hard to get down to one emotion, one feeling right now because there's just so much going on.
Is there anything off the text line real quick?
4693 says strength and conditioning. Why are we so poor in the second half of games and late in the year? So, kind of a same type of feeling as what I was going over there too. Just a little bit confused about the raise. I mean, in the size of the raise, I think is a big one here. By the way, I was looking up to Satterfield. A lot of people want to check the university's pockets on these sort of thing. Satterfield's big contract, of course, was still getting paid coordinator money. Did run up this past year, so I'm interested to see what his salary will be this upcoming season as well.
So his will be more similar to a tight ends coach going forward.
Yeah.
Do you think with Corey Campbell, you think it's a situation where what was it? Penn State earned other coaches across the country $370 million because they're trying to get a head coach, and all of a sudden all these guys, including Rhule, get an extension. And at one point it was up to $370 million worth of extensions because people are trying to keep their coaches. They might not have given them extensions. I'm not speaking specifically on any one coach, but in general, you can't tell me all those same coaches get the same extensions if Penn State isn't trying to come after some coaches.
Oh, no.
So I can't help but wonder, was somebody trying to get Corey Campbell, hence the extension and the raise? I mean, this we don't know. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to think so. Again, you're elevating him to a level. There's only one million strength and conditioning coordinator this past year. By the way, was at Oklahoma State. I think won one game this past season. So that didn't necessarily pay off well for that program. But you look at the other kind of tops in the country, it's who you would expect. The Alabamas, the Ohio States, Iowa, those type of, you think a line play up there. And so, it just seems like a high number for the return so far. Now, again, maybe they love what they're seeing out of him, and behind the scenes are giving him a lot of credit, and maybe avoiding injuries here, maybe more so. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to read through it. I think you're right though. I mean, I don't think there's any way that you just do this independently with such a high level of raise, and making one of the top paid strength and conditioning coaches, unless you're just going for the look of, hey, we're buying into strength and conditioning, but you already had the guy. So yeah, I mean, I think there had to be maybe some opportunities for him out there.
That would sound, I mean, that would make sense to me if there were some opportunities and you really like Cord, you want to keep him around. You're trying to keep somewhat of a stability in the program. It's interesting because when you fire, the most physical part of the team has to be the trenches. When you fire both those coaches, but you retain the strength conditioning coach, who also plays a huge part in physicality, what that tells me, it's going to come back to John Butler. At least, what we believe he said when Rhule's like, hey, don't tell me the players aren't good enough. Essentially, what Rhule is saying with this, if you think about it, the players are good enough. They're being developed in the weight room good enough. They're not being coached good enough. They're not being taught the proper techniques well enough. That's the message I receive as well from this. I don't know how you take it any other way. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I got to agree with you. I mean, like you said, I mean, it's that's the only way really to read it because, again, just the size of the raise that's there for your strength and conditioning coach. At the same time, the trenches being the worst in the fault of the team. And I keep going back to it, and I don't want to sound as if I'm calling for anybody's head or blood or anything like that. Just as I see it again, is that I was not alone, but I was very worried about the trenches coming into the year. So It's just interesting to think, just to see how all this plays out and to feel like maybe is there a GM issue? Was there a roster issue at least with the building? And the other thing is just all these guys, it's such minimal time to be able to show what you've done. At least with Donovan Rhule, and people might have different opinions about how long he stayed around at Nebraska or if ever should have been here to begin with. But at least he had 4 years, and you can kind of go back and say, okay, well, this didn't happen throughout his career. With Braden, it's just kind of like, in Butler, it's like, okay, we're going to throw you this mess, and you better make it great, and it better be even better than a top 25 defense. Again, the rushing defense was really awful at times. Cost Nebraska a lot of games, so it's not just a numbers thing. I get it, but it is just interesting when you make those hires last year. Were you telling them, this is kind of a trial period? Because that's what it felt like. This was just kind of a trial hires. If you're firing guys after 1 year, how much conviction, how much did you believe in those guys to begin with? And you hope that this time around, you have a high level of belief. Now, again, for me, I love the hires that they're making. I always love resume hires. I think they're making really great resume hires. And it sounds like they're going after another guy with quite a bit of a resume at defensive line. So, it's. But back to your point, I don't think there's any other way to read it. As I don't think that, like you were saying, that they were that they got everything out of the talent that was in that room based on coaching them up and developing them.
I wonder, you make an interesting point. I wonder with Terry Braden, if it isn't so much we don't believe in you so much. You're talking about Elijah Robinson. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So I haven't looked since this morning. As of this morning, his Wikipedia page, Elijah Robinson is American football coach, a former player who's a defensive line coach for the Nebraska, which is a weird way to word that, but for the Nebraska. That's what it said this morning. Now, that could have been some random fan who I could go change you and make you the president of the United States right now if I wanted.
If I had a Wikipedia page, yeah.
Well, yes. I could create a page, Jake Bakoven, president of the United States.
Right.
But this was sent to me, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. What don't we know? And then we get the announcement. So maybe it's a situation where, because Rhule, I believe he's hired this guy in the past. Like he has a relationship with this guy in the past. And so maybe there's a little bit of anticipation. I was going to try to go to anticipatory with another fancy word. Nothing came to my mind. Maybe there's just anticipation of who the next D-line coach might be, and they just feel he's just better right now.
Right.
And Rhule needs results now. Terry Braden, I mean, the dude was ready to be a D-line coach. You look at everything he had done, his experience, he was like, okay. When he was hired, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Just doesn't have the actual experience, but you don't get the experience until you get the experience. You have to go through the experience to get the experience. And I was like, fine with it. Maybe you let go of Braden because we've already got this guy, and we know right now, maybe the ceiling in the end is about the same, but right now he's at a much higher starting point for the coach that he is to develop the D-line that we need to make plays now, starting right now. And so maybe that's it. All right. Anything else off the text line? I'm curious and to come back to Corey Campbell, let me know if there's anything off the text line in a second. To come back to Corey Campbell, I do believe he's a good strength coach. I've always maintained that. It's hard to, like when we're not stronger in the second half and you are getting pushed around and things of that nature, that can be challenging. But when you give one guy a raise and you give two other guys their walking papers, and I wish them nothing but respect and good luck in the future. Good luck in their future, nothing but respect for them, easy for me to say. That tells me what Rhule believes. The players are good enough. The coaching wasn't. The technique wasn't. The physical development is there. That's not even my opinion. I don't know how you draw any other conclusion from this. So going forward, what I want to see is us getting the knock 'em back in games. I want to see us being the more physical team in the second half. I mean, we've shown we can start fast. Just about every game of the season. Iowa, we started fast. Remember it was 17-16 at one point? Penn State, we went right down the field. Went forward on fourth down. Didn't quite get it, but we went right down the field. Like, we start fast. The second half, which also factors in-game adjustments, in-game management, and those things come back to the mirror, the guy at the top of the food chain, which is Matt Rhule, and he's obviously not going anywhere, but it's all encompassing. It starts at the top with the head coach, to the coordinators, to the assistant coaches, to the strength coach. It's all encompassing. Is there anything off the text line real quick?
There's a few thoughts, and it's kind of interesting how different people feel here. 0326 says the on-field product over the course of the season supports the moves by Rhule, in my opinion. If he doesn't make these changes, it would leave me feeling rather hopeless going into next year. 4693 says our players were not good enough in the trenches, so has a different opinion on that.
The result wasn't good enough. I think Rhule's saying the players were good enough, but the coaches weren't. You got to have players plus coaching equals result. Again, that's not necessarily my opinion. I can give that in a second. I don't know how you interpret this any other way from Rhule, what's happened today. So go ahead.
Just a couple of thoughts here. 56769 says that's on Rhule. He shouldn't have hired all the guys that he's firing now in the first place. And Just Money G in Kansas says not a lot of confidence in coach making the right hires at this point.
Yeah. During the break, let's look up how many total coaches have been hired, assistant coaches included, because we know we have 7 coordinators now with Rob Arch being hired. But there's been mostly a lot of coordinator hires, but there's obviously a new wide receivers coach. Now we've got a new D-line coach. We're going to have a new offensive line coach. I mean, there has been some other changes, other places as well. Phil Simpson obviously came back. So I'm curious how many total changes there have been. And also, in fairness, I mean, it's today's day and age of college football. Look at Nick Saban's staffs of the past. All the guys that have coached for him, from Dan Lanning to Lane Kiffin to Kirby Smart to all these guys, they're not there anymore. Now, the counter would be they're all off coaching, kicking butt in the college football world in general because they're head coaches somewhere. They weren't let go. They got opportunities to move up. My point is college football just changes so much so fast. I do think that's fair to factor in. But maybe during the break, we can look up the total amount of coaching changes since he's been here. Special teams coordinator, obviously, but that's part of the coordinator changes. Anything else before we go to break real quick?
Not that I see here on the text line.
So I asked your opinion. I'll give mine real quick. The result on the field clearly wasn't good enough. Not in the trenches, not on the offensive line, not on the defensive line. You could see it coming into this. See, like if you find folks listen to us in the offseason, we talked about defensive line question marks because we didn't know at that point in time. Rhule's first year, the biggest question mark in the entire team was defensive line. If you remember, Nash Hutmaker never started a game. Ty Robinson was the only defensive lineman with any starting experience on that line. And then all of a sudden, Ty has a good season. Nash Hutmaker starts to emerge. And then Cam Lenhart, as a true freshman, balled out. I want to see that guy again this fall, by the way. And the D-line was arguably the strength of the entire team that year. So coming in, we just simply said question mark. But there was like 2 or 3 question marks, and it was fair. And then we said offensive tackle. So some things I feel like they're fairly easy to see. Now, the counter could be well, maybe they tried to get certain guys, and they didn't have the money that Rhule has said they now have, and they couldn't get certain guys that they wanted. So we came into the season with a certain amount of holes. They tried to address them, but couldn't address them because they didn't have the money. Now they have the money, we've been told, and so maybe we will not have similar issues going forward. Does that line of thinking track to you? Possibly?
It could be, yeah.
You sound doubtful.
A little bit.
You just want to get to break.
Yes.
All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Staying profitable means finding smarter, more efficient ways to farm. Those decisions turn hard work into something worth passing down. Join us at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln for the Nebraska Ag Expo on December 9th through 11th, where agriculture meets innovation. From big iron and livestock production to the latest in ag tech and soil health, discover the solutions that can help you do more with less and protect your legacy for generations to come. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
It's basketball season, and Salt Mine City is your pregame and postgame headquarters in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Get ready for the game with their big, fatty 7-ounce hamburger or try a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, your basketball headquarters, now open at 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R. Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. The top-ranked Nebraska volleyball team is trying to play its way to the Final Four in Kansas City. Make your plans now to cheer on the Huskers with a VIP travel experience from Sports Trip and the Nebraska Alumni Association. Travel round trip from Lincoln in a luxury motor coach with free parking, plus an overnight stay at the beautiful Hotel Indigo in Kansas City. See details and register at HuskerAlumniTrip.com. Hurry, spots are limited. Register now at HuskerAlumniTrip.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Here at Midwest Bank, we want to thank all the generous donors who helped us make our 2025 turkey dinner for schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, we raised enough money to provide 191 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, we've made Thanksgiving Day for these families a little brighter. We want to wish everyone a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is the Adam Carricker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Adam Carricker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. There's just absolutely nothing to talk about ever. I love when people, first of all, I love when people send me ideas for topics. First of all, I always appreciate that. I do. But I love when they follow it up with, well, if you ever have nothing to talk about, I'm like, oh, you clearly never listen to my show. Because it's not that I don't have enough to talk about. I don't have time to talk about what we need to talk about. Jake, have you, I don't think you have because I still see you working. Have you figured out how many total assistant coaches we've had?
No, this is going to take a while.
So when I asked him to do that, you started naming a bunch of names. I was like, oh, I didn't realize what I asked you to do. Like, there's a few names here. And again, in fairness, keep in mind today's day and age of college football, people are going to come and go a lot. Let's just say people have come and gone a lot. And I don't even know. Here's the deal. It's going to feel like an insinuation of negativity when I say that. It's really not. It's a fascination of holy cow. People come and go a lot. Also, part two to that, I don't really care who's come and gone to this point because what I care about is what happens starting now going forward. I'm having people reach out to me that have been lifelong Husker fans, and the bandwidth is getting thin with some of them. Like guys who've been watching it since the 70s and 80s, fans who've been, they're like, Dad, I've been a fan for 20, 30 years, and I'm contemplating doing X, Y, and Z, and never done X, Y, and Z. I'm going to leave it at X, Y, and Z. You can fill in the blank yourself. It wasn't a blank, but it was an X, Y, and Z. You get my point. My point is this. All I care about going forward is what happens now in the future. We can't change the past. So one of the things I want to chat about is Nebraska football better for some of the moves that have happened over the last 9 days. Jake will rejoin the conversation once he drops the 25 calculators that he has up trying to figure this out. But what matters to me, are we better now than we were, was it 9 days ago when we let go of Butler? That was the first move. Rob Archek. Are we better at defensive coordinator than when we had John Butler? Jeep Wade, are we better at offensive line coach than when we had Donovan Rhule? Now, we don't officially know who the defensive line coach is. I've already put a name out there. Again, Wikipedia, as reliable as the random person you talk to, because anybody can change anything they want on Wikipedia at any point in time. It's a little bit more reliable than that, but you get my point. Will we be better at defensive line coach? Will we be better as a team? Retaining Corey Campbell, giving him a raise. My gut tells me other people were trying to be like, hey, come on over here. You're one of the lowest paid strength coaches in the entire Big Ten, 15th out of 18 teams. Come over here. Come join us. We'll pay you more. My gut tells me that's probably why he got an extension. It's also, in my opinion, Matt Rhule saying the development physically of the players is good enough, or he's really happy with it, however you want to phrase it. The teaching of technique, the coaching on the field in these specific positions, and you could argue as a team as a whole, the results were what we wanted, but it reverberates throughout the team, was not good enough, so we're going to make changes here. My question is, are we better for it? Before we dive into what I believe the answer to be, is this going to take you the whole segment to do this math? Now, I don't, like I say it that way, it sounds like you're not good at math. I mean, to tally this all up.
I think I've got it. It is a little bit confusing because you have different guys, kind of taking on different roles, such as, Coach Satterfield going to tight end. I think there's been a total of 13 staff changes. 4 additions in Glenn Thomas, Ron Brown, Phil Snow, and Phil Simpson. And so 8 of those have been position coach changes.
But we've had 7. Because some of the coordinators went to other, that. I see why this is confusing.
Yes.
Because Satterfield didn't leave. He went to tight ends coach.
So I can go through it here real quickly with the, offensive coordinator, obviously Satterfield, Holgerson. Defensive coordinator, White, Butler, now Orich. Special teams, Foley, then Eckler. EJ Barthel's been your running back coach all along. Wide receiver, McGuire to DeKel Shorts. Tight end, Bob Wager for a few months. Josh Martin, who's still on staff, but was tight end for coach for a year. Then over to Satterfield. Donovan Rhule now transitioning to Jeep Wade. Terrence Knighton to Terrence Braden to now whoever's going to be the next defensive line coach. Rob Dvorak has stuck around. Evan Cooper to John Butler to Addison Williams for the defensive backs. Strength and conditioning, Corey Campbell staying the same. And then again, the additions would be Glenn Thomas was brought in as a quarterback / co-offensive coordinator. Ron Brown was at one time the fullback coach before they eliminated the fullback. Phil Snow, whatever, I don't, his role kind of changes there, but he's the assistant head coach. And Phil Simpson, who was brought in additionally to help out with the linebackers.
That's confusing. I'm glad I tasked you with doing that because there was a 0% chance I was going to get that all done. Before we dive into, do we believe Nebraska's better going forward with the changes that have been made in about the last 8 to 10 days? I want to give a shout out to our good friends at Suizo Construction. Suizo Construction is proud to partner with TMCO, a long-standing Lincoln, Nebraska manufacturing company, for the upcoming holiday diaper drive taking place December 5th. TMCO has been that's not right. It says 5-19. December 5-19. Do you know what that means? Would that be the 19th? Because it can't be the 5th. 5th is already passed.
Yeah, I think it's the 19th.
All right, December 19th. My apologies. The diaper drive, holiday diaper drive, taking place December 19th. TMCO has been a staple in the community for decades, known for its commitment to innovation, quality fabrication, and support of local families. Together, we're excited to support an initiative that directly benefits those in need across our community. The Holiday Diaper Drive will collect diapers, pull-ups, and wipes of any sizes to support 3 family-centered nonprofit organizations, TMCO Prep Academy, the Nebraska Diaper Bank, and Forward. That's FORWARD. Community members are encouraged to drop off donations, at Suizo Construction, their location, 3700 South Street, Suite A, Lincoln, Nebraska, right here, the Ticket Studios. Pine Lake Self-Storage, that address is 6825 South 70th Street, good old Lincoln, Nebraska. And White Elm Brewery, located 720 Van Dorn Street in Lincoln, Nebraska. All right, upgrades. Let's just start with the first. Well, we hired Jeep Wade first, even though Butler was let go first. We're going to go with the first official change that we were aware of, Donovan Rhule to Jeep Wade. I mean, I'm on the record as saying I don't think Donovan was ever really a great coach. I don't think we ever had an average offensive line here. That's just my honest opinion. And I could phrase it much differently. I could phrase it much harsher. I could phrase it much nicer. To me, that's just, do you believe we ever had an average offensive line in the 4 years he was here? There was a year where we were number 2 in the Big Ten in rushing, couldn't throw the ball. This past year, we had a great running back, couldn't protect the quarterback, really. As a well-rounded offensive line, do you think we were ever average or above?
Not necessarily.
Okay. I think Jeep Wade I think he's an upgrade. We got to see what actually happens on the field. Jake says all the time. I say it almost all the time. In other words, a lot, but not as much as Jake. You got to show me. And we want to see it. All right. We want to see it. It's nut crunching time. We want to see it on the field. We're not playing a game for a couple of weeks, so all we can do is talk about it. And even then, that's not the team for next year, as we know in the bowl game. Although a lot of it may look somewhat like what we will see in the spring game and somewhat like what we'll see next year, but not entirely. I do believe it's an upgrade. With all due respect to everyone who's ever coached here, I believe Jeep Wade is a noticeable upgrade in my humble opinion. Okay, you got anything to add to that?
No, I completely agree.
Okay, defensive coordinator, coach. You got John Butler. You got Rob Arich. When you look at Butler, you look at pure resume. Resume's holy Moses Malone. And every time I talked about him, I'd always bring up his resume. When it came to being a collegiate defensive coordinator or college coach, he hadn't done it as much. Even in Matt Rhule's press conference, he said, I wanted to make this move quickly because he's a highly sought-after guy in the NFL. He's going to land in the NFL somewhere. I remember when we hired him being like, holy crap, look at this resume. How's this guy even available? He's going to land in the NFL. Probably, again, as a secondaries coach somewhere. Where for 5 straight years with the Bills, they had a number 1 pass defense in the world. Because if you're number 1 in the NFL, you're number 1 in the world. When it comes to college, there's a difference between coaching college and NFL. I've talked about it a bazillion times. Think about Urban Meyer. Think about Nick Saban. Think about Bill Belichick at North Carolina right now, albeit 1 year in. It didn't have to be that bad of a disaster year 1. We'll see what happens year 2, year 3. We'll follow the girlfriend situation because why not? And we'll see how it all unfolds in North Carolina. But anybody who had doubts about Belichick at Carolina immediately said the way he operates in the NFL, he cannot do that in college. I don't want to say relationships or lack thereof with his players, but I'm just going to say relationships or lack thereof with his players, and he's been doing it for so long. What are the odds the guy in his 70s is going to change? I don't question his football IQ. Are you freaking kidding me? I don't question a lot of things that he does. But you can't take that and apply that to teenagers and early 20-year-olds. It's not going to work directly. So we'll see how it unfolds. With John Butler, that was always my question. It was never the resume. Now, direct experience to being a defensive coordinator, he only had 1 year. As far as football knowledge, hey, this is a logical next step for you. According to your resume, being a D coordinator, yeah, it made sense in the world. But if you're just around him for a little bit, he was always a little bit aloof. Everybody's got their own personality, no problem. But immediately I was like, how's he going to relate to players? And then I believe the reason he was let go can be summed up in what Matt Rhule said of don't tell me the players aren't good enough. Because that's an NFL mentality. Players come and go inside an NFL locker room all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. If you ain't good enough, you're out. It's not the scheme, it's you. In college, it's a little bit different. And if that was his mentality, that was the wrong fit, which is what Matt Rhule said. That's not the right fit. So you go to our new defensive coordinator, Mr. from San Diego State, Robert Orich. He seems to almost be the polar opposite of John Butler, in my opinion. Now, he's been a defensive coordinator for 9 years. He's been a coordinator 10 times, or for 10 years, I should say, not 10 times, because he was also a special teams coordinator. This is a guy, high energy, high enthusiasm. Rhule even said today, it's kind of similar to Mike Eckler. Rhule's going to need body armor on the sideline during games, by the way. I mean, he's going to need body armor to protect himself. If he's got a special teams coordinator and a D coordinator, I don't know if he's quite like Mike Eckler. That'd be awesome if he was, though. Personally, I'm going to root for that. But Rhule might need some self-protection, like some security next to him on the sideline if the defense and special teams are doing really well, which would be awesome. Not quite the experience. Not at the FBS, not in the Power 4 level, Big 2 level. But you look at everywhere he's been. He's almost like when you learn about him, his approach to players, his approach to coaching, it's almost the complete opposite. It's how you play rather than focus on X's and O's. It's being physical rather than you're not quite good enough. And I'm not trying to take shots at Butler. I've seen guys like Butler. There's nothing wrong with that. But is it going to work at the job you're currently hired at? It didn't work for Butler. I wonder with Orich, is it an immediate upgrade? I'm going to throw that over to Jake real quick. I do think polar opposites, maybe not polar, but direct opposites in coaching style is easy to see. I do think this. I will say this definitively. One appears to be a much better fit at Nebraska. And that's our new defensive coordinator's coaching style. I can definitively say, I can sit here right now, and instead of wondering if Butler's coaching style is going to work, I can say that when I look at Coach Rob Orridge, I can say that style fits. Now, how does it translate to results on the field? Nobody knows yet. But I like the way he coaches. It's going to fit much better. How the results on the field do or don't follow is yet to be seen. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's tough at this point to say it's an upgrade. Both of them have very different resumes, very good resumes in their own right. We're gonna have to see what Arch does. At the first time as a Power 4 coordinator and playing in the Big Ten, it's going to be a little bit different. But again, I still go back to with San Diego State, shutting out Cal, and shutting out a Fresno State. Those are 8-7 win teams. So
hey, don't forget Stony Brook.
Those are pretty, and Stony Brook. But 3 shutouts, all that. And so, there's all these different opinions, and talking heads can give their opinions on it, including myself. But there's only a few guys that have had a top 10 defense this past year in college football, and Rob Arch is one of those guys. So, I think it's definitely an upside hire. It definitely could work out fantastically. And I think the biggest thing to your point again with John Butler, I just think it was not a right fit, which I think sometimes can sell, sound like you're trying to sell the failure for a different reason. But again, it wasn't a complete failure. They could have certainly brought him back. There are many coordinators that gave up more than 40 points once this year that are going to be back on their team. It just wasn't the right fit. So hopefully, I'm praying to God, and that's what you're hoping right now, and kind of the frustration through this, is you seem to hire a couple of guys that maybe weren't the right fit this time last year. Again, did we learn something? What are we doing moving forward to make sure these guys are the right fit?
It's a great point. I feel like it's a perfect segue. Go to break so we can almost be on time, and you'll be a little less upset with me. How's that sound?
Yeah, that'll work.
When we come back, let's discuss the defensive line and whether we think, and we're projecting here, and we've thrown out the most likely name. We can revisit that name here in a minute, to be the next defensive line coach. And projecting, do we think the defensive line coaching spot will be an upgrade with whoever we do officially bring in? Let's chat about that when we come back.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your holiday meal. Pre-order a 4-pound boneless ham for $50, a 12-pound whole smoked turkey, or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Staying profitable means finding smarter, more efficient ways to farm. Those decisions turn hard work into something worth passing down. Join us at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln for the Nebraska Ag Expo on December 9th through 11th, where agriculture meets innovation. From big iron and livestock production to the latest in ag tech and soil health, discover the solutions that can help you do more with less and protect your legacy for generations to come. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com. Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Is your furnace ready for winter? Call Bryant to perform a thorough check for comfort and peace of mind. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Whatever it takes.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team, or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
This is the Adam Carricker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carricker Show. Shout out to our good buddies, good friends, partners of the show at Hamilton Telecommunications. All right, they bring you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. It's almost a quarter of a century. It's a long time. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's hamiltontel.com. You inform me. Oh, what's his name? Elijah Robinson. Probably going to be our next defensive line coach. Potentially. Probably, potentially. Which word do you like better? Which word's more appropriate?
Well, Football Scoop reported this morning that they're battling LSU and Lane Kiffin for his services. So I'd say potentially.
I'll fight Lane Kiffin. Put me in a steel cage. I think some of his old Ole Miss former players would do it for free as well.
Yeah, that's right.
According to what we heard. All right, potentially. Elijah Robinson, next defensive line coach. Again, put me in a steel cage with Lane Kiffin to see who walks out. That school gets his services. It's no longer on Wikipedia that he's our defensive line coach. Does it say he's the president of the United States?
No, it says he's an American coach and former player.
Oh, there's no school listed at all now. Oh.
No.
I want you to update it. Lane Kiffin versus Adam Carricker steel cage. Winner gets him. Winner's school gets him. All right. Let's talk about the defensive line. Here, to me, it's pretty simple. I kind of already said it earlier at the top of the show. I don't think we let go of Terry Braden unless we've got a plan. Like, it was pretty obvious. When Matt Rhule fired Donovan Raiola, boom, Jeep Wade, what was it? 2 hours later? Maybe? Hired. I don't know that it's going to be 2 hours later. Maybe it is. You would have thought he would have announced it at the press conference he just had if he officially had the defensive line coach in hand. Sounds like we're battling good old Lane. So we'll see what happens there. I'm going to imagine that Matt Rhule has a pretty good plan. Apparently, we have plenty of money. That's what he has said in the past. And whoever we bring in as a defensive line coach, this isn't a shot at Terry Braden. I think he's actually a guy who's ready to be a defensive line coach. I actually think it was a tough position he was put in. Like, I have no sympathy for Donovan Raiola. He had plenty of time. He had big players. He had recruits. Didn't perform. I look at Butler, and I'm kind of like, oh, man, that's a little bit it's a kind of a tough situation. 1 year. You know, pass defense was great. Run defense was not. I think it was, if you say to the head coach the players aren't good enough, I think that was it for him. With Braden, I kind of feel like maybe, man, this is a little bit rough. I don't feel sorry for the guy. Like, this is part of the business, okay? But I'm like, man, of all the 3 firings, I'm like, this was the one, I don't know how to phrase it. They all needed to happen, obviously, because Matt Rhule thinks so. But maybe the one that needed to happen the least, but obviously it needed to happen because it happened. So I don't feel bad for him because it's part of the business, but I will say this. I don't think Rhule does this if he doesn't have a plan in hand, and that plan tells me that we're going to bring in someone he believes is not just a little bit better. In his mind, it's going to be noticeably better. Otherwise, why deal with the trouble and the headache and the problem at all? So I believe we're going to be better when it comes to coaching the offensive line exponentially. I think we're going to be better when it comes to coaching the defensive line. I can't say exponentially or anything. I just believe we're going to be better. I'll have more information once I know who the defensive line coach is. When it comes to defensive coordinator, I do think it's an exponential better fit. Better fit. Are we exponentially going to be better on defense? That's the question. And again, as bad as our run defense was, we were 22 in the country in total defense. What are your thoughts on that before we get out of here, Jake?
Yeah. I keep going back to that. I think the better fit argument there for the defensive coordinator. Then I think you're right on the Braden thing too. And you said it earlier. It's just that, maybe, a coach kind of moving up the coaching ranks. But maybe and I don't want to say learn on the job, but kind of everybody does, right? As you're getting going, taking these new jobs and stepping up those coaching ranks is just, maybe it's just not the right time. In a very important year for and what is important is stopping the run to make sure you get the right guy. And it looks like the tea leaves, like if you read the tea leaves, right, and Robinson, making this move, might be the next guy up there, and he's got a much bigger resume as far as developing guys there. Now, he was the defensive coordinator at Syracuse this last year. That did not go well. So it's not one of those situations where kind of like John Butler, you're bringing him in. It's like, well, that guy might be a defensive coordinator someday, and he might be get another opportunity. And I'm just saying, it's not. He's
not here.
Yeah, not necessarily happen. That doesn't look like the writing's on the wall at all. So, I think you got to believe between Robinson or maybe somebody that Orich. You always talk about maybe the defensive coordinator bringing someone along. Those would be the names I'd look out for the defensive line coach.
Did you just throw out Ed Orgeron?
I said Orich is somebody Orich would bring along.
I thought you were saying like Orich as in short for Orgeron. I was like, whoa.
Or Ed Orgeron, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that would be interesting. Okay, my bad. You were just saying Orich. I thought you were saying like short for Orgeron. I was like, Orgeron? What?
Coach O.
Ooh, Lane Kiffin and Orgeron in a steel cage match. Who would win that? You got youth versus age, but man, I think one of them's pretty gritty. I'm not saying Lane's not, but I don't know. Who would you take?
I'd want to take Coach O, but I think Lane's youth gets him the win.
Just a lot younger.
Yeah,
I could see that.
And I think he could fight dirty. He might bring out the skilled chair.
Dirtiest player in the game. I could see Lane Kiffin playing that role. I could see that. All right, don't go any lazy, gentlemen. When we come back, it'll be Bach and the black shirts. Until Thursday, I've been Adam Carricker. Go Big Red, and always remember to throw the bone.
Staying profitable means finding smarter, more efficient ways to farm. Those decisions turn hard work into something worth passing down. Join us at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln for the Nebraska Ag Expo on December 9th through 11th, where agriculture meets innovation. From big iron and livestock production to the latest in ag tech and soil health, discover the solutions that can help you do more with less and protect your legacy.